are able to join me. Sorry, I had some Wi-Fi issues. Happens from time to time, but I'm glad to that I got home so that I can help you with some math questions if you have any. I'm always available every Thursday at 8 p.m. to help you answer your math questions. I say I got one viewer. Thanks for hopping on. Yay, Juliana. How are you? So this is let me write the title. This is the KOG Live Algebra Homework Help. All right, and for anyone who needs help, like I said, come on and just post your question. I can see who's hopping on. I can see what you post, and I can just answer right here on the screen. And I'm going to be here until 8:30 if nobody has questions, and then if so, I will be here until 9 o'clock for an hour answering questions if I get some. So I just want to make a few announcements. I don't know if everyone knows or not, but I have created a event in the group, which is for a workshop. It's called the 4 Essentials for Math Success. I mean, for algebra success, goodness, for your success in algebra. For algebra success, okay? So this is something that I am going to be doing on Sunday at 10:30. So Sunday, what day is that? January 20th at 10:30 a.m. And I know some of you might be having other activities, but you can definitely catch the replay of it. And the people who signed up are the people who are going to get the replay link. So you have to register. And so must register. And you can do so at the link in the bio, the description of this video. And it just takes like 5 seconds, really. Just put your name and your email address, and then you're in. So once you register, you'll get an email from me letting you know the details, the location that we're going to be going live. It's not going to be in this group. So that's one thing I want to point out. It's not going to be in the group. It is going to be at another location. So please register. It's going to be some really, really interesting information that you're going to need so that you can prepare yourself for the next semester if you're taking algebra, if you're in college, or just to prepare yourself to study alone if that's what you're doing. Give you some study ideas, how to study according to how you learn, and different things you may not have thought about. So that it's going to be a really powerful workshop that I have put together for you. What are some other things I wanted to share with you? That's the main thing for right now. Also, oh yeah, so that is number one. Number two is that I really want you guys to build your foundation, your math foundation, okay? And I've created the course. It's free. It's called the Top 7 You Must Master to Pass Algebra. and the GED test, you're practicing for it. And a lot of times we get stuck on the simple things that make up the more difficult questions. So if you have the simple concepts mastered, then when you are building on those simple concepts with harder algebra questions, it'll be easier for you to grasp it, understand it, and move along to the next thing. And what I'm going to be doing is creating units, because I have the course. You can sign up for it. It's actually in the description of this group, not the video, but the group. So if you go to like the about section, you should see description of the group, and it has a link for you to take the course. It's free in the description of the group. So um, if you can sign up there, but I'm also going to be creating some units in the KOG Math Success KOG KOG Math Achievers Club Facebook group. Sorry, I'm creating units, and I saw some. But if you to locate the units, all you need to do is go to, if you're using your phone, you go to the that bar that's right above where you can comment. Okay, cool. Juliana said you'll look for the course. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be very, very helpful. I have a video tutorials for each of the 7 concepts. I have text lessons that match the videos, or just to give you multiple representations of the lesson. And I also have quizzes that you can take. I have downloads of study guides and other like information sheets that you can use to help you along in your math journey. So what was I about to say? Oh yes, getting started, seeing kind of exploring the features of the group to see like what I can do. So yeah, I won't be able to have the full course in the group, but I'll have the course. And if anybody who is not, I think you'll benefit from it as well. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. What I'm going to do until 8:30, unless Juliana, you have any math questions. Do you have any? I can answer them. So what I'm going to do is just do some practice problems. I found a GED math practice test. You probably have seen this because like when you do Google search for GED practice test, it's like the first one that comes up. GED math practice test. So this one is called GED Math Hacks, just in case you wanted to know which one it was. Math Hacks worksheet practice test. Okay, so let's try some. Here's number 1. It says solve 10 minus 5 plus 4 times 11. Okay, now this question is actually, okay, Julie Young, I see you don't have any questions at this time. That's fine. Maybe you'll get some value out of the questions I'm going to practice tonight. So for this question, it's basically asking you to use the order of operations. Order of operations. Okay, and forgot what the order of operations are, you can use the acronym PEMDAS, because PEMDAS actually stands for the operations in the particular order. So P stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Looks like my video is being interrupted, but thankfully it's hopping back on. Okay, so we want to follow the order of operations when solving this. So basically, we see what is first on the list of order of operations. So the first on the list is parentheses. I see parentheses, and what's going on inside the parentheses is subtraction. So I'm going to do that subtraction, which is 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is just 5, and I don't need the parentheses anymore because I did what was inside of it. And I'm going to write down the rest of the expression. FYI, expression is basically a group of numbers, sometimes exponents, and operations that don't have an equal sign. Okay, so we did parentheses. Next we see exponents. I don't see any exponents, so let's go down to multiplication. Now we're at multiplication. Multiplication, I see it. 4 times 11. So we're going to not do that addition of 5, but do 4 times 11 first, which is 44. And division, we don't have any, but we do have addition. And so we're going to just add 44 plus 5. That is 49. Why did I forget that? 44 plus 5 is 49. Okay, cool. Let's look at another question. It's a bunch of word problems here, and that's actually part of the reason why I did the word problems challenge, which you can still sign up for. Is just on automation. I was doing, the live videos last week, just to help you guys break down what the question was asking you, and then figure out how to apply specific strategies to answer the question. And so I went through 5 days worth of that, of the Champs at Word Problems Challenge, and you see a link for it. All you got to do is go to knowledgeovergrades.net/word problems. knowledgeovergrades.net/word problems, and you'll be able to register for the challenge. You're going to be getting emails for each day. Okay, so the next thing that we're doing is a word problem, and I'm going to be using some of the strategies from that challenge. I'm going to leave order of operations over here just because you never know, might need it again. Okay, so it's actually not a scenario for number 2. Let's do a word problem since I brought it up. 3. Okay. Abigail would like to purchase a new Kindle for $160. She has a coupon at Best Buy for 20% off. How much will the Kindle cost if she uses the coupon? Okay, so my strategy is read it, reread it, think about it, and rewrite it. Let's reread it. Abigail would like to purchase a new Kindle for $160. She has a coupon at Best Buy for 20% off. How much will the Kindle cost if she uses the coupon? Okay, think about it. Like, put yourself in Abigail's shoes, you're at Best Buy, and you're thinking about using your 20% off coupon for this $160 Kindle. Okay, so I'm not going to rewrite it because that's a lot of writing. We don't got a lot of time, but try to put yourself in Abigail's position and seeing what how that feels and what strategies you're going to need to use to solve her problem, because now Abigail's problem is your problem and my problem too, since I'm helping you solve it. So let's write down some important information. So we have the fact that Abigail is purchasing a new Kindle for $160. So the Kindle is $160. Okay, she has a coupon at Best Buy for 20% off. So 20% off of $160, right? Oops, $160. Okay, how much will the Kindle cost if she uses the coupon? Okay, so this is a kind of a simple question simply because it has one part to it. So in the word problems challenge, I helped you to try to identify the separate parts, because sometimes you need to, now that I'm thinking about it, is more than one part. It depends on how you solve the problem. It could be two parts or it can be one part, but sometimes you need to answer separate parts of the question in order to answer the whole question. You got to do a few things first before you can get yourself to the answer. Okay, so I'm going to show you how many parts and why we need to do all these parts to answer this question. So we got the Kindle, it's $160, right? 20% off of 160. So what we have to do first is find out how much 20% of 160 is. 20% of 160, and then we got to take that 20% off of 160. Okay, so let me do a different color, orange. So 20%, so we got to find 20% of 160, $160. What kind of word is of? Of is a multiplication word. In the word problems challenge, I created a chart for you to actually see different words that represent operations, like all the different words that we use in regular language that represent multiplication, that represent division, addition, and subtraction, equal, so that when you are doing your word problems, you're able to pull those words out and say, okay, this says of, that means I need to multiply. Okay, sorry, my voice is a little off. Probably need to be breathing from my stomach instead of my chest. Something that I learned. I'm going to practice that. Okay, so 20% of 160. How do we take 20% of 160 or multiply 20% by 160? We need to change this 20% to a decimal first, because 20% is like not really a thing. It's not really, it's a number, but it's not a number that we can actually operate with. So we actually have to change this to a decimal by moving the decimal that this has over 2 times. 20% is actually 20 out of 100, because 20%, so per cent means, percent means per 100. So 20% means 20 for every 100. So for 20%, if we divided this, we made it into a fraction, 20%, we made it into a fraction, 20 over 100, or 20 for every 100. We divided this out, we would get what? 0.20. Then I want my decimal all the way up there. 0.20. Okay? And this is 20% also. It's another representation of 20%. And if you didn't want to do this division, all you had to do is remember that the decimal is behind every number. So even 5 has a decimal behind it. That's like a part of some invisible math. And this number has a decimal behind it right here. Let me get a different color. It's right here. And we want to move the decimal over twice. That's what happens whenever you have a percent and you're trying to change it to a decimal. You move it over twice, 1, 2, and there it goes right in front of the 2. And that's where it is in this decimal after we divided 20 by 100, okay? So we got 0.20 of is now times 160. So we're going to do some multiplication. Hey, Miss Amika, thank you for joining us. One day you're going to have to help me say your name right. So let's do 0.20 times 160, and that's going to give us 32. 32. What 32 what? That's important to know. How about $32? So 20% of 160 is $32. Okay? So we found 20% of 160, found it. Now what we're going to do with it? We're not done. Because we want to take 20% off of 160. So we want to do what? Off, meaning you're taking away. What's another word for take away? Subtract. So let me get my orange. So what we're going to do is now do 160 minus 32. 160 minus 32. Subtract, minus, take off, or take away, off of. All of that is basically negative words, negative phrases. 160 minus 32, I'm going to write it this way so I can do my subtraction. 0 minus 2, you can do it, it's going to be a negative, but let's do it the traditional way. Cross out 6, leaves you with 5. You add one of the 10s from 6 tens to this 0, and you got 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 5 minus 3 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. 128. Okay, so 128 what? $128. Nice. $128 is 20% off of 160. $32, what's that? That's different than 128, right? $32 is 20% of 160. But when we take that 20% off of 160, we're left with 128 because we did subtraction. Cool. Does anybody have any questions on that? I guess I'm getting a little excited because I'm getting hot. Hey, anybody else who's jumping on? Awesome. Thank you. Anybody have any questions before I head out? Let me see if I can get a quick question in, another one in. Okay, let's do an inequality question. I'm going to just erase this page, save it real quick. An inequality question. So it says it's number 5 on a GED Math Hacks worksheet or practice test. It says solve the inequality. And the inequality is y is greater than 18. All right. Situation, we really just want to isolate y. We want to isolate y. Okay, how do you do that? Well, what's wrong with y? Why is y not isolated now? 9 is being taken away from y. We need to undo that subtraction from y. How can we undo the subtraction from y? I like to use this little analogy that the variable, in this case y is our variable, is trapped in like a prison, and the lock is what's happening to y, that other stuff going on, preventing y from being isolated, from being by itself, even though like it's by itself. Or we want to free y. That's another thing, another way I was saying it. We want to free y. Okay, so we need the key to free y. The lock is -9. We want the key is that is going to undo or unlock this lock. And how do we unlock the lock of -9? We need to add 9. So that's the opposite of -9. We add 9. So let's try it. Add 9 on both sides. 9 minus -9 plus 9, that's 0. So we're left with y is greater than, this is an inequality symbol. I was going to say like it's an equal sign, but it's not. It's an inequality symbol. 18 plus 9. 18 is a multiple of 9. It's the second multiple of 9. 9 times 2. And if we add another multiple of 9, if we add 9, we get another multiple of 9, which is